Now, Brian Wilson, Mary Catherine Ham, Brian Neiman, today's newsmakers, and you, the Morning Majority. AM 630. WMAL.
8:37, the Bryans are here with Karen Henready in for Mary Catherine, and on the line is our good friend Bret Baier. Bret, congratulations on this lovely profile that was written up by Mike Allen over Politico, where you are described as, are you ready for this? A Boy Scout with a very sharp knife. The article goes on to describe in great detail that you have become sort of the guy who does some of the best interviews of political figures in all of Washington, D.C. I worked with Bret for a long time. I want to say kudos and congratulations on your continued success over there.
Thank you.
I could not be more happy than to read about your continued success.
Thank you, Brian. It was a nice write-up from Mike Allen, and I tell you what, it is what I'm aspiring to do is to be able to do big interviews and make a difference, and I hope that we can continue to do that.
Well, many people talked about that interview you did with Mitt Romney and how he was sort of had his hackles raised by it, but I guess in the grand scheme of things he wasn't too upset, because I see that he's going to do that Sunday morning interview with Chris Wallace here.
Yeah, and I think it's going to be for the hour, so it should be a really interesting interview. That's next Sunday after, as you know, 2 debates, which will be really crucial. One this Saturday, and then our debate in Sioux City, Iowa, is on Thursday the 15th. I think those are really have the potential, at least, to move the needle this close to the Iowa caucus.
So is Newt the man?
Listen, if you look at all of the polls, especially in those early states, he is white hot right now, which is really amazing considering where he was, obviously, and the whole story of the phoenix from the ashes. But it's also amazing because the dichotomy between voters out in the country, in the early states and other states, and the reaction from Republican lawmakers on Capitol Hill who will talk to you privately and say that they're concerned about a Gingrich nomination and really against it largely. It's pretty amazing the different, the voters versus the inside the Beltway perception.
Bret, as we're getting very close to the Iowa caucus, and you're correct, there are 2 more debates, a lot rides on them. I just picture Newt Gingrich as the boxer just waiting to get into the ring. He's throwing jabs into the air. He's ready. He's loaded because he wants on that stage. He knows this is where he shines. This is what helped him rise in the first place. But my question to you is, so many questions have already been asked. We've had so many debates. As you're preparing for that December 15th Fox News debate,
yep.
What do you hope to accomplish? How do you get something out of them that they haven't already said?
Right. Well, I think we're going to try to attempt to not plow ground that has been plowed before. So we're going to ask different questions. We're going to try to get them to differentiate themselves, why they're better than somebody else on stage to be the nominee. And I think we're going to create the environment, or at least try to, where they can explain their position on solutions of the day that may be different from others who are standing next to them. We've tried to do that each time, and I agree with you, Karen. I don't think, retread questions or situations where you've been around the block really work that well. The reason I asked some of the questions the same way to Mitt Romney in that interview was because at the time he was being attacked from all sides on the past statements that he's made. The DNC ads, John Huntsman ads, the union leader had come out and said that he lacked conviction. So I sensed that there was more for him in a long format to answer about that, and he didn't
right.
feel that way.
Yeah.
Well, the gloves are starting to come off now, so my guess is there's a lot of new things that you'll be able to bring up, from name calling to, Michele Bachmann the other day called Newt Gingrich a frugal socialist. which is a new term I haven't heard of before. Ron Paul has a ad out there crushing Newt as well. So it seems to me like the writing is on the wall. All the other candidates are trying to make some headway, and they're trying to chop down Newt as fast as possible.
I don't think we're going to be lacking material.
Yeah,
No,
right.
I don't imagine.
Well, and how about Ron Paul? Because Ron Paul does have probably the best organization in Iowa. We know that Newt has probably the worst organization of the top three. How do you get the? I mean, not that you're going to discount Bachmann or Santorum or Huntsman in this debate, but I just really want to see Mitt Romney, Newt Gingrich, and Ron Paul go at it, because that's what this Iowa caucus is about.
Well, we will set the environment as much as we can to allow that to happen. I can promise you this. Ron Paul will be getting more than 89 seconds of airtime in our debate, and we are going to try to balance it out as best we can. We have fewer candidates, as you know, in that Herman Cain is not in the debate,
right.
So it gives us a little breathing room. I also think that you're going to see some questions that you haven't seen before, and I know that for a fact. Of course, we have to see what happens on Saturday, but we've been working hard at trying to go new places. And there's one thing that I might disagree in, that I think you could start seeing Newt Gingrich play the Dean Smith four-corner offense of UNC, the old days where they didn't have a shot clock and they would just pass it around on the outside. He has to look at these numbers and say, the prevent
defense.
He's going to pull Romney and just be quiet then for a month.
I can't imagine it, but I think that it might be in the back of his mind to not make too many waves ahead of he's looking at a big lead in all of these early states.
If it'd be interesting to see if he follows through on what he's talked about in the days that everybody's coming after me, but I'm not going to go after everybody else. I'm going to try to look presidential. It'll be interesting if he can actually stick with that strategy.
It'll be tough if you're under fire for a sustained period. And
takes a lot of discipline.
Yeah. Bret Baier, congratulations again on this lovely article and on your continued success, and good luck on the debate.
Thank you. See you all.